Brooks Arena alongside the 1980 rink in Lake Placid, New York, where it is currently just about minus 15 Fahrenheit. Minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. It is frigid outside. A little chilly outside on the ice as well, as we get a look down on the ice at the pregame warm-ups. This is an 8:40 a.m. puck drop between the Westfield Bombers and the SLP Lakers. Lakers out of Saranac Lake and Lake Placid. 10 miles away from here is Saranac Lake, and this here, Lake Placid. Lakers hosting this one, as you are tuned in for the 60th annual Lake Placid International Youth Hockey Tournament. My name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary alongside Jules, giving you the smooth beauty shots pregame, operating the camera. You're watching Game Capsule TV on YouTube as we get set for the opening period puck drop. My name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. I dropped down to the locker room area pregame to meet with coaches from each team, checking in on the players, the lineup, and the pronunciations, as well as the good health of all of the players. Everybody that is on each squad is healthy and ready to go today. Coming into this game, Westfield is 0-1-1, looking to get their first win of the weekend. Saranac Lake, Lake Placid, the Lakers are 1-1. They are hoping to pick up a win. They might be able to pick up a tie and still make the championships. We already know who's going to the championship for the 7:30 a.m. game here on the 80 rink tomorrow. That's going to be Hamburg. And so the Lakers trying to come up with a win here. Westfield trying to do the same as we're underway. Opening period action as the goaltenders are all set and ready to go. Shot on net as that goes wide. We'll be playing 3 12-minute periods. And no overtime. So ties in these games at the end of regulation go into the books as ties. Although in the championship games, they will do overtime. As we get an offsides. Howdy, Josh. That's a familiar name there. I think, have you got a team out there for the Lakers? Josh, are you one of the coaches on an SLP team? As this is played out across neutral ice. Coming in on the right wing side, that's Doug Ganyuk. We dropped in with Karina's parents earlier. That was one of the more challenging name pronunciations. And here's Hinckley. As that is padded away by Lakers' young goaltender. Played down into the Lakers' offensive zone as Doganyuk chasing down towards the end wall. We had an opportunity to chat with Coach Matt Scheller for the Lakers pregame, as he's been covering a whole bunch of responsibilities ahead of the game, covering production as well. Anybody else out there who is watching in the interwebs, go ahead and send a message on the chat board. Tell me where you're watching from, which team you are rooting for, and if you have a player out there, tell me which player. We'll go ahead and give you a shout out as this is played from below the goal line. And out to neutral ice is Westfield able to get out of the defensive zone relatively easily. This will go down, no icing, as that's been waved off. Westfield now trying to hold up in the offensive zone. Just a couple of minutes into this first period, we're scoreless. We've had an enjoyable weekend thus far. Yesterday we had, on 2 separate games, viewers from Panama, the country. And now from the left wing side, getting deep into the offensive zone. This is Glenn. Glenn, the son of Coach Jeremy Glenn. We had some time to chat with Coach Glenn pregame, just checking in on personnel, making sure everybody is good to go for today. As this is played out past the blue line, trying to hold it in the offensive zone is Lawrence. Lawrence from the left wing side, shot wide of the net out towards the far side corner. Played out to the half wall. As this comes around the near side corner to the half wall, pinching down is Crosby. Crosby sends it deep in the zone as Jacques comes up with it. Westfield still battling to get out of the zone. That's Connor King sending it out towards the opposite side of the defensive zone. And Westfield now setting up for a rush. Veering out to the left side, shot. And there's a save. Anybody out there familiar with the goaltender? If you are, go ahead and give a shout out. We'd like to give some recognition to the goaltenders, oftentimes coming in to a position that not many other people are willing to jump into. In fact, we were talking to a Hamburg dad pregame, said that their goaltender had come in only recently. Late additions to the roster. As this is picked up on the left wing side, Westfield trying to carry it up into the offensive zone. That's Faria. 7:33 remaining, first period action. As you can see, we are scoreless. Thank you, Jules. There is no stream on the other arenas, just on the 1980 rink. This is out to Alex. Shout out to Mr. C out there. As the Lakers playing it back up towards the offensive zone. Blinn holding it up along the near side wall, battling with Hinckley. As Westfield gets it out towards the opposite side. From the slot, shot, goal. There's your icebreaker, folks. As Siska with a wrister from the mid-slot. Check that. That's Faria. With a wrister from the mid-slot. And there's your icebreaker as Westfield gets out to a 1-0 lead. As this is played up ice by Farrell. Chased down with heavy pressure from behind as Blinn trying to force the issue. Played across Faria and now gathered up by Hayes. Hayes sends it up ice. No icing. Chased down by Sadowski. Played out to neutral ice. And dumped back down towards the end wall. Some changes away from the play as Jacques comes in to pressure in the offensive zone. Coming away with a steal from behind the net. This is Jacques. Out in front with a shot attempt by Blinn. As that goes wide. Played out towards the side door. Franzen in the net for Westfield. getting a little bit of work. And there you go, your equalizer. There's the Lakers on the board now. That's Lawrence coming up with the first goal for the Lakers. A little celebration as the youngster goes across the bench there. And the Lakers will keep their forward line out there, with Lawrence trying to possess the puck. Shout out to Galena. Go Westfield Bombers. Real quick question for the Lakers. Coach, who's in net? 31. Last name? Rempal? Do we have someone? Do you have someone who knows for sure? It's not in the program.
Brimpal.
Brimpal?
Yes.
That's the last name.
Yes.
Brimpal.
Got Callie Brimpal.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, so a shout out for the Lakers fans watching in-house. As we just learned, the goaltender for the Lakers not listed in the program. That is Brimpal, Callie Brimpal. So 4.5 minutes remaining in this first period, tied up at 1 apiece. Now, we had mentioned coming into this game, Saranac Lake, Lake Placid, the Lakers are 1-1. With a tie or a win, they could be playing for the championship against Hamburg tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. I will be here. I hope you will be here as well. Brimpal, is that correct, Josh? We're looking for last name. It's been a really nice weekend as we interact with not just the folks that are in the virtual audience chiming in from online, but also locally, as the folks are so kind as to share correct pronunciations and any other color commentary. Like Westfield has a full complement of players on the ice, and the Lakers had a defenseman injured slightly yesterday, but healthy, suited up, and skating today. Thank you so much, Josh. As this is played out on the near side corner. And for those of you out there on either side, Westfield or Saranac Lake, Lake Placid, if you hear me mispronounce a last name out there that you are certain of, go ahead and send me the phonetic pronunciation, and I'll go ahead and implement that correction into the broadcast post-haste. We had a chance to speak to one of the Westfield players, and they have a challenging last name as far as pronunciations go, and that happens pretty regularly in any sports. They provided correct pronunciation. That's Dovganyuk, who's on the ice right now, posted up on the back door. Number 24, played out towards the right point. 2.5 to go, first period action, all tied up at 1 apiece. Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. So good to be here. So glad you'd have me here. Alongside the Miracle Sheet. Renovations done this past year, narrowing the sheet from 100 feet wide to 85 feet wide, which is what they play in the NHL and in college hockey. It makes for better skating as well at the youth levels, as this is stopped by Franzen. If you can imagine squirt level skaters having to skate an extra 15 feet wide on a rink, it would make for very slow developing action. A bunch of other renovations done. The 1932 rink just down the hall in the Jack Shea Arena updated as well, as they have viewing seats on the opposite side of the ice from where the main viewing is, right above where the penalty box is and scorekeeper is. A couple of rows added up there. That's a great arena as well. We call a bunch of Northwood games over there. Northwood School, if you're not familiar, a local prep school in Lake Placid. They play a 60-game hockey season, so they are well conditioned as this is played down towards the end wall. Picked up by Perry. Played around to the far side half wall and out towards the left point as this squirts out across neutral ice with 78 seconds remaining first period action. Mr. C says, nice save, Big Bird. Daniel, hi. Good to have you on the broadcast. As this is played across neutral ice, we're inside of a minute remaining in this first period. This is my first, but the organization's 60th annual Lake Placid International Youth Hockey Tournament. We do cover plenty of Can-Am hockey. We'll have Can-Am in the arena next week, all of March, Thursday through Sunday throughout March. We cover several hundreds of games since November 2018 for the Can-Am folks. We covered Northwood Invitational a couple weeks ago as this shot is deflected to the end wall, half a minute left. As Farrell sends it around towards the point, held in and played from point to point out to the right side. Here's Hinckley. We talked to Coach Hinckley pregame as well. Shout out to Coach Hinckley, as well as Coach Brian Kahns. Both have players on the team. Coach Scheller has his son out there as well, Mavericks. It's number 17. As the buzzer goes, closing out first period play. Like Jacks. Thank you so much, Josh. Like Jacks. Not the French pronunciation. So go ahead and get a look at the big board. Closing out period number 1. At the end of 1, we're tied up at 1 apiece. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, step outside, rotate the tires. When we come back, we'll have baking tips with Martha from the 1980 rink in Lake Placid, New York. You're watching the 60th annual Lake Placid International Youth Hockey Tournament on Game Capsule TV. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, welcome back as we get ready for second period action. This was a request from a couple of seasons ago from my producer, Matt Scheller, who had been getting feedback from customers that said that I sound like Doc Emmerich. Well, occasionally, it depends on what kind of action I'm seeing on the ice and how quickly I'm following it in terms of the pitch of my voice and the intonation and such. Occasionally, some folks would say that I sounded like Mike Doc Emmerich, who is a recently retired professional broadcaster from the NHL. And after hearing all of that, he decided to feed me a line that Doc Emmerich would say at the beginning of the second period. And so this is a tribute for Matt. With due respect to Doc Emmerich, we welcome you to the second period, the period of the log change. As the goaltenders have traded nets, now putting them and the defensive zones that they guard on the opposite end of the ice from their benches. This makes defensive on-the-fly substitutions difficult. So this period, the key is to get the puck into the offensive zone, make your on-the-fly changes there, stay fresh, and in the meantime, on play stoppages, make frequent changes. You don't want to find yourself held up in the defensive zone for too long, as it becomes difficult to get substitutions. The longer that you're in the defensive zone, the more fatigued you get. The more fatigued you get, the more likely you lose your responsibilities. You get a little bit fatigued and out of position, and sometimes that puts you in a position to start committing penalties. Tripping, hooking, slashing, holding, whatever the case may be, and that puts you at a disadvantage as you end up on the penalty kill and giving advantages to your opponent. So the key thing here in the period of the log change, get in the offensive zone. As we're early second period action, that's Mavs right there. Mav Scheller. Now, for a long time, this is behind the scenes stuff. Coach Scheller had shared with me that Mavs previously had not been a shooter. As some players, as he's checking in, actually, that's Mav Scheller checking in with the opponent's player who was down, making sure that everything's good. As these youth hockey coaches try to coach their players early on to share a little bit of respect and good hosting to the opponent, as we'd have no game if we didn't have opposition. And so we see that. Well, some players, getting back to the previous point, some players just don't shoot. They like to pass and they like to play defense, but they don't think of shooting as part of their game. And about a month or so ago, I learned from Coach Scheller, from Matt, that Mavs finally broke through to the, I think I'll try shooting. And he finally scored a goal. He had practiced a celebration all along. And he does an air guitar. A little color commentary for Mav Scheller. He is a guitar student. He's taking instructions out in Saranac Lake as we have our first infraction of the game, heading to the box to serve a minor penalty. Number 91 for Westfield. Let's get a quick look and see. Now, we don't see 91 on the roster list here. Actually, double check that. That was actually scorekeeper had put 91 up in error. It's 53. That's Siska. Siska will sit for a minute, and the Lakers will go to the power play. Here's Hinckley breaking through the defense into the slot, getting a shot on net. And that one dished aside as Brimpall getting a little bit of action. Shot on net, and Brimpall with a chested save. Lost track of where the puck went, but the defense came in and swept it away. And the Lakers finding themselves at some disadvantage on this power play. Stuck in the defensive zone. Fortunately, the puck comes out and back in. That'll be an offsides, giving them at least a neutral zone faceoff. That'll get them out of the defensive zone. 11 seconds left on the Lakers power play. As we get a shout out to Mr. C, Alexandria Chavola and Coach Brian, wishing they were here. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to watch. We did learn pregame from the Westfield side that the Chavolas were unable to be here, and so a shout out to the family. We hope that you are enjoying the efforts of your team. Westfield has brought a strong program to the Olympic region. We've seen a couple of Westfield Bombers games over the course of the weekend. Thank you so much for the shout out there, Mr. C. From the left side, that's Faria, and Faria able to put this one past Brimpall, and the Bombers back up, now leading 2-1. As we get a look in at the player celebrating the go-ahead goal. And a look at the big board. 8:02 remaining second period action. As we're back to full strength, 5-on-5 on the ice. We got Sadowski out on the ice for the Bombers as the Lakers getting an opportunity to look at net. And Franzen coming up with the stop as this is played past Crosby. Crosby trying to chase back to it. Getting a little bit of assistance by defense mate. Played up ahead. And the Lakers working out of the zone. As this is played by Sales. And now shot down wide of the net as that comes off the end wall. Chased down by Scheller. Scheller across through the slot as we get a collision there. Both players slow to get up, but getting up. And so we will not have a stoppage of play. The officials, with a little bit of respect to the officials in these youth games, oftentimes very protective of the health of the players. If the players stay on the ice for too long, they'll go ahead and blow the whistle and make sure that they get attention to make sure that there are no injuries out on the ice. Of course, at this age, sometimes when you crash down to the ice, it takes a little bit of effort to jump back up and get back into action, even if you are healthy. But if they stay down for just a moment long, officials will protect the team and the player. Blow the whistle. As this is played up on the left wing side. That's Blinn racing up wide on the circle. Poke checked away. Grabbed up by King as King works it up into neutral ice. 6.5 to go, second period action, midway through regulation, and King gets a shot off. Brimpall with the leg save. And now crashing through the middle. It was Siska. And we get a stoppage of play. This thing's getting a little bit stirred up, and we're going to have a player going to the box. This will be King going to the box. And we'll see. Now, we don't have the benefit of a public address announcer. Typically, you would hear the announcement of what the specific designation is on the penalty, or you would see a very big display, the hand signal from the official. When they're showing a trip, they'll show the gesture that indicates a trip so that we up in the audience can know what that is from a distance. As this is played out of the corner, centering pass. This is second power play for the Lakers. On the first one, they found themselves in the defensive zone for a long time as Doganyuk applying pressure on Perry. But Perry able to get it deep into the offensive zone. This one sent back into the Lakers zone, and Brimpall will ease it alongside the net. Played to the near side corner. Out around to the far side as that's chased down by Jacks. We see Crosby out there and battling alongside is Lawrence. Picked up one more time by Jax. Jax plays it up ahead, out towards the point. Unable to get it through. A little bit of effort there by Lawrence, and Lawrence able to get it out to neutral ice. Lakers down by 1. As this is eased out of the slot. As Faria chasing the puck handler from the left wing side, played down to the end wall, worked from below the goal line, trying to shoot it towards the net. A little bit of help posted up in the slot. As we see Schroth out on the ice, number 77 for Westfield. King has already served the penalty, back out on the ice. And now this is chucked down, no icing, as this will be chased down by Cons. Cons plays it from below the goal line and from the right side with a shot deflected out in front. That's Hayes up at the point for the Lakers. 3.5 to go, second period action. Westfield up 2-1. As this is played in on the left wing side. Picking up some speed, shot deflected as that goes wide of the net. Close call as Franzen had the paddle save. The puck had ramped up on the blade of the stick, just barely going wide of the net. As we have seen this weekend, one shot that had bounced up and over the goaltender, and this one on the far side as Faria comes up with goal number 3 for Westfield. And now Westfield up 3-1, just outside of 3 minutes remaining in the second period. As we have a shout out for Wallowicks watching from home. That is a Westfield Bomber. Thank you, Mr. C. As the Bombers go up 3-1. Westfield putting in a strong effort here as they now extend to a 2-goal lead. Lakers will try to close the gap as this is played down low. Sent out towards the far side corner. Chased down by Jax. Played out through the slot. Loose puck tossed out towards the far side corner. That's gathered up by Schroth. Schroth pressured in the corner. And now the Bombers with an opportunity here. Some folks looking for a penalty, although initially that was a stick check, and then afterwards the puck had already been dislodged. No call. And now playing up on the left wing side. Little stick handling skill out there. Played into the slot. Peeling back. Shot just wide of the net. Strong play by Lawrence. Able to work around the defense and get a look at the net. The Lakers will need a little bit more of that if they want to close the gap here. As this is tossed up ahead by Blinn. As we see King out on the ice. This is Schroth from the half wall. Not seeing the Lakers winger coming in from behind. Just barely getting tagged up. The Lakers avoiding the offsides. As this is worked out towards the left wing side. Here's Faria with a shot wide of the net. As that rebounds hard off of the end wall. Faria working it off the net and dumping it in. And Faria extending the lead for the Bombers. And the local audience getting excited here with 1 minute flat remaining in the second period. Westfield up 4-1. As we see Sadowski and Hanselman, the defensive pairing on the ice for the Bombers. Doganyuk as well out there in the forward position. The Lakers trying to clear the defensive zone. Played out to Hanselman and then down to the faceoff circle. And now picking up speed on the left wing side. This is Blinn as that is turned around. Chasing down a loose puck is Hayes. 20 seconds remaining. Once again, Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary as we're getting close to the end of the second period. As it's tossed out to neutral ice, that'll be offsides. With just 3 seconds remaining in the second period. Set up a neutral zone face-off on the near side dot. Played in by Faria. And there goes the whistle closing out second period action. As we wind out the period, we'll go ahead and take a look outside, check the dew point. When we come back, we'll tell you why you don't store the topiaries in the linen closet. From the 1980 rink in Lake Placid, New York, you're watching the 60th annual Lake Placid International Youth Hockey Tournament on Game Capsule TV. We'll be right back.
12 minutes of hockey, right? Play hard, sisters and brothers, we play for each other, right? Who are we? What do we do? What's the best hockey store in Lake Placid?
And got stuck in the Atlanta airport as we drop in for the third period. And so he was tuned in, watching live on Game Capsule TV and chiming in, letting us know what developments were happening. I just thought we had a viewer who lived in Atlanta, but no, he was just living in the airport as flights were postponed. But Adam is back in-house, and we're happy to see him. This is first time meeting Adam, so that's always enjoyable, getting to put a face to a name. As we open up third period play, Westfield skating in the white sweaters with the black and red trim, leading 4-1. The Lakers trying to work their way into an opportunity to play for the championship, needing a tie or a win. And even if it went to a tiebreaker, Westfield coming in 0-1-1. If Westfield takes a victory, they'd be 1-1-1. And they would go to the championship. So this is high stakes here. As the Lakers in the offensive zone, Scheller up ahead. Chased down by Blinn in the corner. And now working up against Dovganyuk. Dovganyuk with a shot off the side of the cage. As this is played around the corner by Hayes. Hayes out towards the blue line as this is forced out across neutral ice. Chucked up ahead by Blinn, and now Scheller chasing after it. And this will be offsides, just barely coming across the blue line. Scheller had gotten tripped up midway into the zone, could not tag up in time. Quick line change for the Lakers. Folks, if you're like me and you do a lot of design work advertising, promotions, etc. And you do a lot of printing if you are local in the area and you need prints done quickly to your specifications, you can check in Saranac Lake Compass Printing for all your design and print needs. I use them regularly, as they call me Poster Boy. Compass Printing Plus, design, copying, and shipping, locally owned and operated with delivery service to Lake Placid business customers. Full service printing, mailing services, copy, fax, and scan services, graphic design, and a FedEx shipping center. You can find them on all the socials, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. It's Compass Printing Plus, online at compassprintingplus.com. Located at 42 Main Street in Saranac Lake, New York. Compass Printing Plus for all your design, copying, and shipping needs. Speaking of shipping, Lakers deep in the defensive zone trying to ship the puck across the ice and into the net. As this is played by Lawrence out across to Blinn. Blinn hung up a moment, and now centering pass out in front as Jack's just off the mark there. Beautiful fast pass across that crease area. Jack's unable to get contact with it, but in a perfect position. Slow to get up is Lawrence, but Lawrence back up. Will skate across the ice. Looking a little sore. He's going to have to come off. And Rabideau going on the ice. That'll give Lawrence a moment to recover as this is chased down by Hinckley. Played out towards the blue line. Doganyuk working the possession, and a nice little cradle move and a goal. How the heck did Blinn do that? Oh my goodness, scooped up the puck, cradled it on the blade, carried it up for a short distance, put it back down on the ice and tosses it in the net. What a play by Blinn. What was that? Folks, you know what a Michigan is. That was not quite a Michigan because it wasn't cradled and tossed in lacrosse style into the net, but it was cradled and carried into the offensive zone on the blade of the stick. Not an easy feat to get the puck to stick to the blade in the first place, but not quite as predictable to be carried in the upper part of the zone. But there you have it. Blinn picking up goal number 2 for the Lakers. And we've got a 4-2 game. As Fitzgerald pounces on the puck. As we see a personnel change in the net for the Lakers. Fitzgerald, number 30. Anybody out there see that play that developed into that shot? Shout out to Josh out there. Josh, did you see that? Of course, you can always replay it as this is played out to Hinckley. Deflected, loose puck picked up as Farrell sends it across neutral ice. Jack's applying pressure. This is Ash breaking up the play. And King is down. We might get a whistle here as King is down on the ice. We'll pause for a moment while King gets some attention. King was skating across with possession as Ash had gone for the poke check. And King might have gotten a hit in the legs. We'll take a moment here as players on both sides take a knee. We will take the figurative knee as well. As ever, I will wish for the best of health and well-being for one and all, not just those on the ice, as King skates off under his own power, getting some applause from alongside the ice. Sometimes you end up with contact out on the ice that smarts initially, and then the pain dissipates. And so best of health and well-being to those on the ice, off the ice, around the world, and even the golfer on the moon. As we prefer folks to be happy and healthy, makes things a whole lot easier on everybody and a little more enjoyable as this is tossed through the slot. Devganyuk from the left side, shot deflected as Fitzgerald initially makes contact with the paddle, but it deflects up and in. And Westfield back to a 3-goal lead with 6:21 remaining in regulation. If there's anyone else out there in the virtual audience, I know we have a bunch of people who are in the house watching, but if you're out there in the virtual audience watching from wherever you are, even if you're out of the country, we have welcomed viewers this weekend from Panama, the country, and England, and then various states in the U.S. We had Texas, we had Michigan, we had Illinois yesterday. Wherever you're watching from, go ahead and send a message up on the chat. Let us know where you're watching, which team you're cheering for, and which player. As Sadowski comes up on the right wing side, goes to the backhand, turning around, and played out towards the end wall. Here's Faria from the half wall on the left wing side. As Blinn trying to work it out of the zone. Played back into the mid zone. Stolen away by Hayes. Hayes able to get it out to neutral ice as this is tossed in. That'll be offsides. A little premature in getting into the offensive zone. 5:14 remaining in regulation. This will be it for me on the commentary for the morning. After this one's done, we will take a ride out to Paul Smith College and call the women's Bobcats basketball playoff game. This is first round playoffs with new head coach Brad Rideout, as they have already been able to strengthen their personnel for next season, adding a couple of new players. Here's Hinckley from the right wing side. Shot, and Hinckley gets it through a narrow window on the near side. And Westfield coming up big here. We'll cover that women's college basketball playoff game at 1 p.m. And then after we're done with everything there, we'll head back to the Olympic Center and cover a couple, 2 or 3 games in the evening time here on the 80 rink. For those of you who have been enjoying these live broadcasts, and you have any teams out there that might be of interest that you want to watch and listen to, I'll be back here round about the 6 o'clock puck drop, provided all other elements of the day work out logistically. It's a lot more travel in a day than I would normally plan But we haven't had an opportunity to call a game for Coach Scheller. We wanted to have an opportunity to see what he's been doing besides all of the production operations that he works to deliver these live streams on Game Capsule. As this is played out to the center stripe. Blinn down on the ice, trying to maintain possession. As this is played off to the far wall. Blinn able to barge through. Toss back up again. 3:33 remaining, down by 4. Trying to close the gap here. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off. Actually, check this. We're going to have Crosby. Oh, check that. That's Blinn. Blinn's going to go to the box. And so this will be a power play for Westfield. For those of you hockey fans out there, anytime that you happen to come through Lake Placid, you have any hockey needs out there, drop on in to Locker Room 5, Lake Placid's hockey store. Proudly serving Hockeytown, USA, with professional skate sharpening and repairs, equipment and sticks, skates, snowshoes, sticks, and pucks for rent. They also hold bubble hockey tournaments. Those are very popular. That's Locker Room 5. If you have any questions, email them, info@lockerroom5, that's the number 5.com. info@lockerroom5.com. Conveniently located right across the street from the Olympic Center, 2573 Main Street in Lake Placid. That's Locker Room 5, Lake Placid's hockey store. Say hi to Jake for me. As this is played from the half wall, tossed out to neutral ice. And now with an opportunity here, Jax getting a shot just wide and coming back in support. Behind the play was Sadowski. Sadowski with a lot of recovery speed as we go back to even strength. Blinn coming out of the penalty box. Here's Scheller through the slot. Loose puck picked up by Lawrence. Turned back over, and Schroth comes up with it. As Blinn, coming off the bench, heads in and just missing out on avoiding offsides as Blinn had sent it into the offensive zone. We'll get a neutral zone face-off on the near side dot, just outside the Bombers zone. 1:54 remaining. Blinn wins the face-off, brings it into the offensive zone. It's turned around as Blinn comes back in. We saw Blinn with a fancy play earlier as he had scooped up the puck, cradled it for a few strides, then set it down and shot it into the net. As this is played off the end wall, Faria giving a shot at it. And now Scheller trying to avoid having it stripped away. Played out towards the left point. Here's Blinn. Blinn, strong stick handler out there. As Blinn will chase it down, picking up some speed from the left wing side as that's swatted away. Brought it in prematurely. That'll be offsides. Inside of a minute remaining in regulation. It's been an exciting one. The Bombers coming up big here. Westfield had fallen to Hamburg 2-0 Thursday afternoon on the 32 rink. And then tied South Rhode Island 2-2 came into this one 0-1-1, very much needing a victory from the right wing side. Shot goal with 28.3 left on the clock. The Lakers pick up goal number 3. And Lawrence leading the way. Lawrence from the right wing circle, just getting towards the hashes in the mid slot. Lawrence coming back into the offensive zone, looking for some help as Rabideau gets in. 17 seconds remaining. Bombers with possession. Played out to the blue line. Lawrence passed up ahead to Rabideau as that goes wide. And that'll do it, folks. Westfield getting out in front and holding on to the lead along the way. Late and valiant effort by the Lakers towards the tail end of the third period, as they were able to come up with 3 goals. We'll take a look down at the Lakers huddled with Coach Scheller, as Coach Scheller and Coach Blinn have a few words with the players, getting them over the hump, as it is not always easy to suffer the victory. As both teams gather at the center stripe to exchange goodwill on the handshake line. Good game, good game. Safe travels, good meals, and good luck. What a great day to be a hockey player. What a great day to play hockey. And so at the end of regulation, Westfield Bombers taking the victory. We'll see who ends up on the ice tomorrow morning for this division's 7:30 a.m. championship game. Be sure to tune in on the Game Capsule live stream on YouTube. I'll be here for all of the championship games tomorrow. For now, we're going to shut down the commentary. We'll keep the video stuff rolling. On behalf of Jules, Matt Scheller, the producer, the Lake Placid Olympic Facility, Dave Webb, you've been watching the 60th Annual Lake Placid International Youth Hockey Tournament on Game Capsule TV. We'll see you on the next one.